Bean Games!
What is up, my fellow trucking fanatics? It is great to have you back here on Bean Games for another day of driving across Europe, delivering solar panels and tomatoes and perhaps little tiny scones that Italians eat along with their coffee. Who knows what we'll find? Who knows what we'll pick up? Who knows what we will deliver today on Bean Games? Good to have you back. Glad that you're watching today. Let's jump in and do some driving. I don't know who these people are who get their pictures posted up here. World of Trucks image spotlight. I think World of Trucks is like the online component, which we're not doing any of, to be perfectly frank. And that's fine. But these people have tricked out rigs. Mine is so plain in comparison, but it's mine. And that's what's important, is that it's mine. All right, let us get right into the world. If I recall right, I'm really reaching back into last week. I think we need to take a nap. I think we're very, very sleepy. Our truck only has like 7% damage, but I feel like that's about when I start thinking, probably time to get that chrome polished. There's that yawn. Show enough. Where's the nearest place where I can take a rest? I remember pulling into this depot and going through the town and saying, well, we're going to have to go top next session. Yeah, here we are. I definitely see some things to go take a look at, so can we go this way? Yeah, we go this way. First things first. First things first, let's drive up on the curb. First things first, this looks like a hotel right here. Well, actually it looks like a garage. Can I sleep even if I don't own the garage? Oh, I can certainly get 2% more damage by just... Oh, okay, no, I think I need to go next door. I guess I can probably only rest in the garage if I own the garage, and I don't own this garage. Nor do I plan to. Yet. Give it time. Give it time, and I might just own every garage in Europe. But today is not that day. Today's a day when we will pull right in here and take a nap. Nap time! Perfection. Ryan brings in another 1,000 euros. Well done, sir. And another 1,800 euros on top of that. Ryan was just burning the midnight. And he has leveled up. Hey, it does tell us when he's leveled up. Well, we got to go. How much are my loan installments? 5,700. Boy, Ryan, I'm glad you're pulling in that sweet dough while I'm taking a nap. But I've got plenty of money. It's more than fine. Where is my company manager? My driver manager? Ryan, let's check you out. You're a 1.7 rating now. Weren't you like a 0.8 when we started? That's terrific. You have certainly leveled up. Some more long distance drives. Yeah, let's take a look at your log. Yep, used plastics and forklifts on day 15. Good for you. Way to pull in that sweet, sweet cash. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you, Ryan. You are doing well, and you are not making me regret hiring you. And I appreciate that. Okay, let's... I'm not going to worry about upgrades right now. We're just going to repair everything. Cost me about 5,000 euros. That's all right. Now we're clean and shiny. Buffed those dents right out of the bumper. So many dents. Let's be real. There were dents aplenty. And I'm going to try to avoid getting more dents in, at least for the next, like, minute or two. There will be more before long. How's my gas? I think I might need more at some point, but I can pick that up on the road. So let's drive over the curb, bumpity bumpity, and try to hit this guy, thumpity bumpity. Driving skills, all rusty. Let's just pull right in here to Tradox and see what they've got to haul. Okay. We've got a fuel tanker. We've got a wind turbine nacelle. Nacelle? Is that how you say that? Watermelons and chicken meat. Or chimkin meat. As my wife loves to call chickens, chimpkins. I may have been the one to get her onto that. I forget. Chimkins. Chimkin meat. This one definitely pays the best. It pays really well, actually. Probably because it's hazardous. And standard. Yeah, let's take the fuel tanker. I feel like if we're going to use those upgrades to haul the fuel and the magical... Look at that thing. That looks space age right there. What kind of a type? Oh, wrong one. There? Not quite. But I really got to be lined up just right with this baby. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having trouble here. Come on, I'm like right there. Is this the right one, right? No, it's not. Well, how about that? I thought that looked kind of space agey for a fuel canister. You know what helps? What really helps, so I've heard, in the trucking industry, is when you're not entirely incompetent. If Ryan could see me now, he would jump ship to a different company so fast. Just so fast. This one is not going much better. And we did it. Alright. More difficult than it should have been, but we persevered. And I'm proud of us for doing that. Now, I don't know if we've taken a fuel tanker before, or anything with the flammable materials. And I just now thought if maybe there's a chance for you to get in a bad accident, and would it explode? Like, would it just blow up in your face? I sure hope not. This game seems peaceful where it wouldn't do that to you. But I also didn't anticipate flipping my truck that one time. And here I go trying to do it again. I'm going to squeeze right out here in front of you. Hope you don't mind. There we go. And roundabout. Oh, that's right. I remember there's two of these. Roundabout number 2. Coming in hot. And there we go. Okay. Back to the open road. Back to delivering this fuel tanker. And I hit that guy in the face. Am I supposed to turn here? I don't know. I can't see the map. Yes, I am. Oh. Oh. I'm not sure who saw their life flash more in front of their eyes. Me, as I looked into my mirror and saw myself about to crush that guy, or him as he realized that a gigantic fuel tanker was about to crash into him. I'm just glad that nobody exploded. I feel like that's all the success we could ask for. This is a big roundabout. This is like an interstate roundabout. That's cool. Those have certainly not caught on in America quite yet. Ooh. I do see a gas station up here, and we might need to pull off and get gas. I feel like that's probably a good idea. Is this a toll booth as well? I'm so confused. This isn't a gas station. This is a toll booth station. Unless it's both? No. Oh. I don't know. Maybe the icons got messed up here. Anyway, we've got enough fuel for right now, I think. Just keep an eye out for the next stop on down the road. Guys, let me tell you about the adventure that I had last weekend. It was a good time. While you were watching the episode that got posted on Friday, I was out enjoying the great outdoors. True story. I went out on a little 3-day backpacking camping trip, all by my lonesome. My usual hiking buddy could not come with me, so I set out for a solo trek with the great hopes, most above all, that I would stay alive to keep bringing you fantastic content here on Bean Games, because I don't have enough of a backlog for you to continue watching for very long if I was to have been ate by a bear. Thankfully, I was not ate by a bear. I did see a bear, saw a black bear, but he was very skittish and ran away almost as soon as I saw him. But no, it was a great trip. So about an hour north of me, there's a trail runs up on the South Carolina North Carolina border called the Foothills Trail. It's a 71-mile hiking trail. I did about 50 miles of it in just about 3 days, and it was a good trip. A lot of it is in kind of remote. See, here again, it's giving me the. Am I just misreading that icon? I thought that was the gas icon. I don't know. Pay my toll. Out I go. Anywho, so. This was my first time being up on this trail. I've done other trails and things before, but the Foothills Trail practically in my backyard. So I said, well, I'd like to go up there. Since I was going out by myself, you'll be very glad to know I did a lot of prep work. I researched the conditions and the trails and everything out there. There are large portions of it that are pretty remote. It starts in a state park up the road from where I live, but then it goes out, and a lot of it is just out in kind of in the backcountry, in the forests of northern South Carolina and southern North Carolina. That's fun to say. But it's very well marked. The trail's been around and in perpetual use for the last 50 years or so, since the 70s. And very well marked. It's marked in the same way the Appalachian Trail is, which is every 1/10 of a mile or 1/4 of a mile or so, you'll see a tree with a white blaze, like a little 2x6 rectangle painted on it. Bright white paint. So all you have to do is keep following the blazes. You're certainly not bushwhacking or anything like that. It's all very nice trails, very clearly marked. And there's a great guidebook that I was using that details sources of water, primitive campsites, things like that. No shelters or fancy amenities anywhere on the trail. The fanciest amenity was one campsite along the banks of a pretty popular river up there, the Toxaway River, which kind of sounds, every time I hear Toxaway River, I always hear the Toxic Waste River. I mean, I can't imagine that they didn't think about that when they were naming it, and it just seems like a really poor idea to name a river the Toxaway River. It's a beautiful river. I drank water out of it, after purifying it, of course, just to be safe. But the Toxic Waste River, that's always what I hear. It's a crying shame, because it's not a toxic waste river. It's a beautiful, clean river. The Toxaway River. Anyway. So, yeah, the fanciest amenity was at a couple of the campsites along the Toxaway River. There were picnic tables. Whew, that was fancy. Other than that, it was just fire pits and clearings to pitch a tent or lay out a hammock, which I did. I went out hammock camping on this trip. So, string my hammock, put up a tarp over top of it in case it rains, which, side note, it rained a ton. I knew that because I'd looked up the forecast going in, but you only get so many 3-day weekends that you can take off and go out in the woods. So I said, well, it may be wet, but sometimes you gotta hike in the rain. So I did. I started midday Thursday, and Thursday was nice and clear, which was terrific. Get out, did my first 10 miles or so on Thursday. Totally clear, wonderful day. Sprinkled some overnight, and then Friday it rained for a few hours midday, and then it rained some Friday night, and then Saturday morning, it just poured down rain for the first 4 or 5 hours on Saturday. I got very wet. Very wet. Being wet while hiking is an interesting experience, because once you get wet, there's really no getting unwet until your trip is done. Especially here in northern South Carolina, where there's just always humidity. Just always. And so once anything gets damp, it stays damp. Your gear, your pack, your hammock, just perpetual dampness. That's probably a patron saint in the Catholic Church somewhere. Her Lady of Perpetual Dampness. Sounds about right. Well, that was my patron saint. The patron saint of perpetual dampness. Saint Toxaway, maybe. Who knows? But that was fine. I mean, I had all my gear protected, and I'm yawning more and more as I play this game because I'm so relaxed all the time. I hope you appreciate that. I had bags for all my gear, so nothing vital got so wet that it was unusable. And of course, rain jacket, all that good stuff. But rain jackets only work so well, too, because you put on a rain jacket and that prevents the rain from, really soaking you, I guess, directly. But at the same time, you're sweating because you're hiking real hard. And so you're wet from the outside in and the inside out. You're just wet. I came up with this theory Saturday morning as I was hiking and hiking and hiking in the rain. You reach a state that I like to call PW. It stands for peak wetness. It's the state where you cannot be physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually any wetter. Like you've reached peak wetness. I reached that at about 8:45 in the morning on Saturday. When I went to break down camp at 7:30ish or so, it just started pouring. So I broke down my camp, packed everything up into my pack, and then set out on the trail by like 8:15. And a half hour later, I mean, you're just soaked. Like, I mean, you're soaked top to bottom, inside to outside. Red light? What? Oh, there was a... Wow, I got so busy caught up talking about hiking that I didn't even notice that they changed the traffic pattern there. Pay attention. Whoops. But yeah, you know, you can put on dry socks at the beginning of a day, but then half an hour later, as you're just trudging through puddle after puddle after puddle after puddle after puddle, you're just soaked. You're just so wet. And you reach peak wetness when your body becomes thoroughly soaked, and then really the key factor is your... Oh, guys, I was not watching where I was going. I got distracted. That was the very epitome of distracted driving. I tried to jackknife my trailer. Nothing's blown up. We are very fortunate. Okay, sorry. I'm back. Still very zen. Nothing's exploded. Everything's okay. There's a yawn. Everything's okay. But yeah, so once you reach the state of being just wet down to your soul, then you get like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to really feel sorry for yourself. Like, I'm so wet. This is awful. I'm just wet. And then after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you just say, okay, I'm wet. I literally can't get any wetter. Fantastic. And then you just keep hiking. And I found that when I was in that state of peak wetness, as long as I kept moving, just, kept taking step after step after step, everything was okay. Anytime I would stop moving, then suddenly I could feel like, oh, my feet are soaking wet and they hurt, or oh, this part of me is super wet. But as long as you just keep moving, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So, it was a great trip. I got a lot of wet hiking experience, which is very good. Just learning how to manage your gear. When it's damp, when it's wet. Surviving, not dying. A lot of scrambling up over loose rocks and wet rocks. And a few times it was like, all right, let's be careful here, or else that will be the end of Bean Games. And nobody wants that. So, but I'm happy to report that I was safe and sound, and eventually I finished my trip. And I returned high and dry, and everything was wonderful. I'll tell you what, nothing is quite as good as being basically wet for 3 days. And hiking a lot, and loving every minute of it. But just being completely soaked outside. And then finishing the trip, being successful, feeling the sense of pride and accomplishment that comes with that. And then getting to take a shower. That first shower after 3 days in the wet and the dirt. It's very close. What did oh, where did you come from? I didn't even see you. Oh, and was that a policeman that I hit? Oh, man. I totally missed him. It wasn't even like I saw him somewhere. Obviously, 3 days out hiking on the trail. Yeah, I didn't have to pay a toll at least. And I've lost all of my driving skills. So that makes sense. Actually, it was kind of disorienting. For some reason, you wouldn't think this would happen after only 3 days, but after only 3 days of just seeing the world at walking speed, then I got into a car, and I was especially a passenger in a car going 70 miles an hour, down the highway, and I was like, whoa, this is so fast. What do I do besides hold on for dear life? And yeah, that was pretty much all I could do. But then you adjust, and then going 60 miles an hour isn't so bad. But in doing so, yeah, I've lost all of my critical driving skills. That's tough. It's very tough. But it was a good trip. I've got another trip planned here. Not today, but next week. When you watch next week's episode, I may again be out on the trail. Got to hike the trails while the weather's good. Well, even when the weather's super wet, it's not always good, but warm at least. That is the good thing. It was very wet and it was very rainy, and I was very soaked, but it never went below like 60 degrees, so it didn't have to be wet and cold. And when you're wet and cold, ooh, that's not only is that a certain level of discomfort, but boy howdy, that's when hypothermia can set in. And nobody wants to deal with hypothermia. Not cool. I do want to deal with getting some gas here. That's a terrific idea. I'm going to pull over here real quick. Did I go too far? I think this is the first time that my gas, like my low fuel indicator has been on. How many liters of fuel is it going to take? So many. Wow. 1,700 euros worth of fuel. That's like my whole payment for this job, probably. Can I merge here? Can I merge? Please don't hit me while I merge. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm still not quite sure where I'm going to go hiking next week. I got to figure that out. Might be up on the Foothills Trail again. The trail itself is like 76 miles long, and I did right about 50 of it, so there's like 26 left. So I am going out with my friend this time. So we may hike the other end of it, so that way I will have section hiked the entirety of the Foothills Trail. Check that off my bucket list. Although it won't be a one-time thing, because the Foothills Trail, beautiful trail, very nice trail. Again, I can see myself going out there, doing some parts of it multiple years. So, but there's a couple different routes that we might take that are close by. We're going to be out for about 3 days again, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, hopefully it will be dry. That is a great hope. Picked up some new trail running shoes that I used for this past trip, and they did very well, although now the only time I've used them has been in wet conditions, so not really indicative of how they treated my feet as a whole, because I ended up with a couple of beautiful blisters. I mean, just beautiful, like big old blisters at the end of Saturday. But you could be wearing the best pair of shoes in the world that fit your feet perfectly, and if you hike for 8 hours a day while your feet are soaking wet, you're probably going to get blisters no matter what. Just because your feet become so soft, and any kind of rubbing is just going to create those blisters. So they're healing up nicely. That's the good part. But I'm very much hoping it's going to be dry next week, so that way I can use the same shoes once they've dried out, of course, as well, and see how they do under dry conditions. Optimistic that they'll do much better. Oh, I'm about to cut you off. Oh, about to crash into everyone here. It is a miracle that this fuel has not just gone up in just flames. and myself along with it. Don't have to pay tolls here, apparently. That's wonderful. I don't know why. But I'm not going to look a toll gift horse in the mouth. Although I probably have redone all the damage that I fixed. That's unfortunate. Oh, and like here we are. Our place isn't even, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Here at eacres.com? No, just eacres. 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 Let's play it safe. Oh, that should be good. Come on, let's get this one and done on the first try. I want to see it. I want to see it. Hey, look at that. We nailed it. Okay, so what? We spent $1,700 on fuel? What do we actually make? Oh, yeah. No, that's true. Well, okay, yeah, that's right. We basically lost our proficiency bonus or long distance bonus, but... Oh, and I got a damage penalty too. But hey, we still made like 12,000 euros. That's good. 10,000 euros maybe. Lost like a fifth of my XP. That's okay. Satisfactory. Always want those excellent, but I'm not gonna be mad with satisfactory. Ryan, how you doing? Everything okay over with you? Just gonna double check. Nothing much is going on there. He seems to be doing great. He's good. Stop to rest. Very responsible. Driving forklifts. Fantastic. Gotta get that profit per day up. You gotta match my numbers, Ryan. You'll get there. I have great faith in you. Great faith in you. Well, guys, that's gonna be it for today. We're just gonna do the one delivery again. Great to have you here. So good. Love driving around, telling you about my adventures out in the woods and us having adventures here on the roads. It's the best of both worlds, and I'm glad. I'm glad that you're here to share this world with me. Good to have you here on Bean Games. Hope you're loving Alan Wake. We'll have some more of that story coming at you Monday. And we'll see you next time, next Friday. I will be out in the woods when you watch next week's episode. But you can enjoy it and know that I am out enjoying fighting off the bears. That's what we do here on Bean Games. See you next time, guys.
Bean.